cooperation with the CIA during the 1950s, a chemist named Sidney Gottlieb created a program codenamed MK-Ultra. This program tried to find an effective way to control the minds of their subjects with the intent of being used by the U.S. government. The program remained secret until the 1960s when it was discovered and exposed to the world, detailing the torture that those in the program endured. While externally the CIA dealt with the fallout from the exposure of their actions, the organization still saw the value in Gottlieb's work and decided to continue internally with their experiments. They needed another research group to continue the program as Gottlieb was under too much scrutiny because of his previous involvement. After some deliberation, the Pinnacle Research Group was selected and picked up where Gottlieb left off. They chose a slightly different approach, however, trying for something they called mind synchronization rather than simply mind control. They theorized that, with the right mixture of medication and stimulation to specific points in the brain, they could match the brainwave patterns of two subjects. According to their theory, without the conscious mind to block it, the minds would synchronize, and one could communicate with the other through this link. They selected multiple subjects, each pair similar in age and background, but none of them knowing one another. They were brought to the facility and given a medication that induced a deep sleep. The researchers powered up their systems and enabled specially created arrays of electrostimulators that fully covered each subject's head. These devices would send electrical impulses to the other subject's device, stimulating the matching location in their brain. They let the experiment continue for hours, and their theory proved correct. Given enough time, the minds of the pair became almost in perfect sync, their brainwave patterns almost an exact match. In order to stabilize this connection, the researchers then administered a second drug that they had devised that would remove the need for manual stimulation. After the drug took effect, the researchers disabled the devices, hoping for the best. The subjects then spent the next several hours continuing in perfect sync. Deeming it a success, the researchers began the process of waking the subjects from their deep sleep. Once fully awake and aware, each subject was then thanked for their time and sent home. Within a week, however, Pinnacle began receiving reports that the subjects were having hallucinations and what felt to them like an out-of-body experience. It was too much for some subjects, and many died from their own hand rather than deal with it. Finally, making it to the bottom of their list, Pinnacle researchers discovered something interesting. Two of the subjects that were still alive seemed fine and well-adjusted. They were living normal lives on opposite sides of the country, with one exception. Each said they felt like they had a co-pilot in their mind at all times. Over the years, they remained connected and grew closer. They were able to communicate across vast distances and even became comfortable projecting their consciousness one into the other. Pinnacle researchers again deemed the experiment a success, despite the losses of all other participants in the group. Their happiness was short-lived, however, as just 4 months after they concluded their work with the two remaining subjects, one of the pair was found lifeless in their apartment. The cause of death wasn't able to be determined. It seemed like they had just passed away in their sleep. Pinnacle reached out to the other participant, telling them of the news that their twin had passed. There was a long pause at the other end of the phone call. The subject laughed lightly and said, "No, you're mistaken. We are just fine."